Let's start with something nobody says out loud in real life, but everyone quietly experiences. Debt doesn't feel like slavery when you are signing for it. It feels like access. It feels like I deserve this. It feels like I'll sort it out later. It feels like adulting, but later always comes. And when it comes, it collects, with interest. That was the part Mike did not understand at first. Mike was not irresponsible. He was just Motto, a young guy from Lagos just relocated to the United Kingdom, working, earning okay money, doing what everyone around him was doing. Then came the credit trap. Initially, it was exciting, a new experience for him. He could buy things and pay later. That's what he was told by the bank and the other credit apps. Very enticing, right? Phone on installment, laptop on credit, 2 credit cards for emergencies that somehow became lifestyle assistants, and a buy now pay later app that knew him too well. You know, he was literally living the United Kingdom dream. At first, it felt normal. Everyone was doing it. His friends were doing it. Even social media was basically a catalog of things he did not yet own. And that is where the problem starts. Because normal, it's not the same thing as healthy for health. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. That verse is not trying to be poetic. It is describing structure, economics, power, control. The Hebrew word used for slave there is eved, meaning a bonded servant, someone whose labor is obligated to another party. Let that sit for a second. It is not talking about chains you can see. It is talking about commitment of future labor you have not yet earned. Meaning before Mike even woke up some mornings, a portion of his future income already had a destination. Not him, the bank, the lender, the system. That is what that does. It assigns your tomorrow before you even arrive there. And the wild part, most people do not feel it until life slows down enough for them to notice. For Mike, the wake-up moment was subtle, not dramatic, not cinematic, just exhausting. He noticed something strange. Every month he worked, and every month he was still behind. Money came in, money went out, but freedom never accumulated. He was overwhelmed and devastated. He said it out loud one night to his friend Dave when they met at a cafe after work. I don't even feel like I earn money. I don't have any savings, and I can't even send anything back home. I feel like I pass it through. And Dave laughed first, then stopped laughing, because it hit him too. That is the thing about consumer debt. It does not feel like debt when it is spread out. It feels like lifestyle until you try to build something else. Now here is the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. Consumer debt is not neutral. It is not just money borrowed. It is money already allocated from your future. And credit card companies understand this better than most consumers do. Globally, credit card industries spend billions on marketing every year. Not because they are emotional, but because they are strategic. Rewards points, cashback, air miles, discounts, sign-up bonuses. It feels like you're winning. But mathematically, the system only works because a large percentage of users carry balances. And that is where profit is made. Not from convenience, from interest, which is why Proverbs chapter 22 verse 7 lands so accurately even today. It is not outdated wisdom, it is structural truth. If part of your income is going to interest every month, then part of your labor is not fully yours. That is the tension. Mike did not realize how deep it went until he did a simple calculation one night. He opened his banking app, looked at his credit card. Balance, £2,200. Interest rate, around 22% annually. He Googled what that meant and sat still, because the answer was uncomfortable. He was paying thousands monthly just for the privilege of owing money. Money that did not reduce the actual problem fast enough. Money that mostly maintained a problem. And that is the psychological trap. Minimum payments feel responsible, but minimum payments are mathematically designed to stretch debt, not eliminate it. There is actual financial data that shows, at high interest rates, making only minimum payments can extend repayment timelines by years or even decades depending on usage. Not because people are careless, but because the system is structured that way. Now let's bring this down to something real. Imagine Ariel, a young professional in the same city. Stable job, good income, very organized. But she is carrying credit card debt, buy now, pay later balances, a small personal loan she took just to manage something urgent. Nothing outrageous individually, but together, it is heavy. Every month she earns, every month she pays, but she never feels ahead. And this is where Solomon's wisdom becomes practical. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 7 is not condemning debt as a moral failure. It is describing dependency, and dependency always has a cost, even when it is normalized. Now here's where things shift. Because there is a way out that does not require sudden wealth, it requires structure. It is called the debt snowball. Not the most mathematically perfect method, but one of the most psychologically effective. And psychology is where most debt repayment plans succeed or fail. Here's how it works. You list all your debts from smallest to largest, not interest rate first, balance first. Then you attack the smallest one aggressively. Everything extra goes there. Minimum payments everywhere else. Once the smallest is cleared, you move to the next. But now you roll the previous payment into it. So momentum increases. That is why it is called a snowball. It starts small, but it grows as it moves. Now financial experts will tell you, pay highest interest first. It saves more money. And they are correct mathematically. But behaviorally, humans are not spreadsheets. Humans need wins. Because when Ariel cleared her first debt, a small store balance, something shifted. Not in her account, in her mind. She said it like this to her friend Kira. I didn't even clear much money, but I felt like I got my life back for the first time. That is the psychology of progress. Because debt is not just financial, it is emotional weight, and every cleared balance is proof I can finish what I start. Now let's bring scripture back into it. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 7 is not only a warning, it is also a direction. It is saying, be careful what you allow allowed to own your future labor. Because ownership is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet. It shows up as salary already allocated, plans already restricted, decisions already limited. Now contrast that with freedom. Freedom in finance is not about having excess money. It is about having unassigned money, money you can direct intentionally. That is where transformation begins, because every cleared debt returns something: time, attention, options, clarity. And that is more valuable than people realize. Now let's make this practical in a very real-world way. Step 1. Write every consumer debt you have. Not in your head, on paper or notes app. Be honest. Step 2. Arrange them from smallest to largest balance. Step 3. Pick a smallest one and decide, this is leaving my life first. Step 4. Any extra money this week goes there. Not equally spread, focused, because scattered energy does not create momentum. Focused energy does. Now here's the part most people miss. You do not need motivation for this. You need repetition. Because freedom is not a moment, it is a process. Mike and Kira started this quietly. No announcement, no big declaration, just consistency. First debt cleared, then second, then third, and something unexpected happened. Their stress reduced before their income increased. Because financial pressure is not only about numbers, it is about mental load. Every debt removed is one less background process in your mind. Now imagine living with fewer of those. Clearer thinking, less anxiety, more direction. That is what the Bible is pointing at in Proverbs chapter 22 verse 7. Not shame, structure, awareness, wisdom, and eventually, a different kind of life. Not one where you are constantly paying for your past decisions, but one where your present decisions are building your future. Now let's be honest, this is not instant. It is not glamorous. It is not viral, but it is powerful. Because in a few months or years, the version of you that has no consumer debt will feel like a different person financially. Not because income changed overnight, but because obligations disappeared one by one. And that is the quiet miracle of discipline. It compounds. So here is the final truth. You are not designed to be owned by your obligations. You are designed to direct your resources. Debt should not define your future. It should be temporary, not permanent. Start with the smallest one. Attack it. Finish it. Then move to the next. Because every cleared debt is a piece of your future returning home. And freedom is not theoretical. It is mathematical. If you stay consistent, it will happen. Manage it like it was never yours. If this message hit different, if something in your spirit just shifted, don't let it stop there. Hit like, not for the numbers, but because there's a steward somewhere still scrolling who needs to find this. Share it with the one who's been praying for breakthrough but hasn't had the word broken down with receipts yet. And subscribe to Bible Rebooted. We're not here to make you feel good. We're here to hand you the truth and show you what to do with it. It's your boy Dave Solara, signing out. Like, subscribe, and stream the music.
This heavy burden,
he forgave.
This empty heart is empty no more.
He reached into the grave I dug in.